windy out here today. I hate wind. What should you say? You should say, Mark, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. That means you agree with me that wind is terrible. Guys, I got a great question down in the comments on one of my recent videos. Someone asked me this: hey Mark, thanks for this. I'm wondering if you can make a video about a phrase that is confusing, which is, I couldn't agree more. A coworker told me that he couldn't agree more, and I took it as if he disagreed. I told him that he told me that he couldn't agree. Wait, did I read that right? I told him that he told me that he couldn't agree, so he added that he said that he couldn't agree more. In his words, he says he meant he agrees, when he in fact said he couldn't agree more. How on earth is this right? This is so confusing. If you can make a video about this, it will be helpful if you can. Well, thank you very much for the comment, MRCM1CU. MRCM1CU. What a great name. Thank you very much for the comment. That's a good question. That is a good question. Now, your coworker is right. Your coworker is right. To say I can't agree more means you agree with someone. Now, I'll explain it. Okay? Imagine if someone says something and you agree a little bit. Maybe you agree a little bit. But what if you agree completely? Completely agree with you. Let's say, like I said, I hate the wind. Do you agree with me? Like out of 10. Let's say if you agree with me, it's a score of 10, and if you disagree with me, it's a score of 0. Okay? How much would you agree with my statement? I hate wind. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me a little bit? Maybe 2 out of 10? Or 5 out of 10? Or is it 10 out of 10? You really agree with me. Okay? If you agree with me 10 out of 10, then you can't agree anymore, because you've already it's the maximum agreement, right? So if you say I couldn't agree more, that means there's no more room. You've already maximized, it's the maximum that you can agree with someone, okay? It sounds confusing because of the word couldn't. I couldn't agree. That dog couldn't agree more. Hey, Pooch. Pooch? There's 2 Pooches. Pooch is another word for a dog. You can call a dog a pooch, right? So the confusion is around the word couldn't. But just think about it. Don't think about the word couldn't. Think about this concept, okay? Like, let's say you're going to drink water. You have a glass of water. You fill up the water all the way. You can't fill it up anymore. The water, the cup is already full. You can't add any more. So that's what we mean. I couldn't agree more means I agree completely. I agree with you maximally, right? It can't get any more, right? So that's a good phrase to use to mean that you agree very much with someone, okay? So if I say I hate the wind, you could say I couldn't agree more, right? Now, this question reminded me of another phrase that we have in English, and that is, I forgot about it, guys. Let me just think. I couldn't care less. Okay, I couldn't care less. This is a very common phrase. It means you don't care at all. I don't care. I couldn't care less. Okay, now there's a mistake that people make with this phrase, and they say, I could care less. So if you hear someone say, I could care less, and I couldn't care less, both of those mean the same thing. They're saying the same thing, except one person is saying it wrong. They're kind of dumb. They don't know English. But even very smart people make this mistake, you know? Like, if you ask me, all right, Mark, do you care about celebrities? I tell you, I couldn't care less about celebrities' lives. All these, you know, musicians, movie stars, famous people. I don't follow them. I don't care. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care any less. What that means is my caring is Generator just went on and ruined this whole video, guys. I'd like to apologize for that. More noise is coming from these houses. It's a noisy day, it's a windy day, right? So if you don't care about something, you care about something zero, then you can say, I couldn't care any less. You can't go further down because you're already maximum at the bottom. This is the lowest you could care. You can't go below zero, right? Just like in the first phrase in the question, in the person's comment that they asked the question, you can't go more than 100%, right? If you say, I couldn't agree more, you can't go more than 100%. But in this case, it's like the opposite. You can't go lower than 0%. I don't care about celebrities so much. Like, my care is so little that I couldn't care less. It's already zero. Now, the mistake people make when they say this is they say, I could care less, you know, and you can tell by people's tone of voice what they really mean, right? Like if I ask someone, do you care about politicians? Do you care about politics? And they say, I could care less. I could care less. What they actually mean is I couldn't care less. They're making a mistake. But you can tell by their tone of voice that they mean they care zero. But the thing is that if you could care less, that means there's still more room you could go down. That's why it's a mistake. Because let's say, you know, if a person says they could care less, that means maybe they care like 5% about politics or celebrities or something, right? Well, if you could care less, that means you care a little bit. So that's why it's a mistake. It literally would mean, okay, if you say I could care less, it literally means that you do care a little bit. So you could go further down. Like if you care about politics 5%, that means you could go down to 0. But if you say I couldn't care less, then you're at 0 and you can't go any further down. So for me, I couldn't care about celebrities, you know, any less than I do now. It's already 0. How about you guys? Do you care about celebrities? If you don't, then use the correct phrase and say, Mark, I couldn't care less. Or you can use the incorrect phrase and say, Mark, I could care less. Okay, both of those mean the same thing in real life. Just one is a mistake, one is not a mistake. Let's talk about one more example about this idea, okay? Let's say I ask you on a date. Let's go on a date, guys, you and me. All right, we're gonna go to a restaurant, we're gonna eat some nice Indian food. And I get to the restaurant and I'm waiting there and I'm waiting and you don't show up. I look back at my text message to you and I said, let's meet at the restaurant on Monday at 6 p.m. Yeah, it was very clear. And let's say you don't show up. And so I call you. Hey, where are you? And you say, oh, I thought it was tomorrow. I thought it was Tuesday. I said, no, I said Monday. I couldn't have made it any clearer. I couldn't have made it any clearer. It says, my text message says, Monday at 6 p.m. Okay, it couldn't be any clearer. It's specific, right? I couldn't have made it any clearer. That means it's perfectly clear. It couldn't be any more clear, right? It's 100% clear. You can't go more than 100%. So you say, I couldn't make it any clearer. Does that make sense? Right? If I would say in the text message, if I say, let's meet sometime next week, maybe an evening, let's go on a date, some evening next week. And if I'm waiting at the restaurant and you're not coming, and I call you, you could say, well, you didn't even tell me when we were meeting, Mark. Then I could say, oh yeah, I should have made it more clear. I should have made it more clear. Or I should have made it clearer. Okay? Sometimes even native English speakers don't know whether to use more or ER. Like, is it more clear or clearer? Guys, it's so windy. And it's cold. Guys, I'm freezing. It's April. It's end of April. It's still freezing. Oh, guys, what am I doing in this country? So let me know if you understand this phrase. Does it make sense? Okay. I couldn't be any clearer. I'm teaching this as clearly as I can. I couldn't be any clearer about this. Okay? That means my video, my lesson today is completely clear. If you don't understand it, you're an idiot. If you don't understand it, guys, you're an idiot. Okay? Let me know. Does this make sense? Have I answered this person's message, or not message, have I answered their question clearly? Okay, I don't remember their name. Let me remind myself. MR-CM1CU. MR-CM1CU. I can't even remember their name, guys. But thank you very much for the question. It was a good question. It's a great question, guys. Some of these things, sometimes English is a little bit confusing. That's why I try to make things crystal clear for you on my channel. Crystal clear means perfectly clear. Okay? So if you really agree with someone completely, try to use this phrase. Say, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Okay? Or if you don't care about something at all, then say, I couldn't care less. Okay? Or if you ask someone on a date and they don't show up, and you go back in your text messages and you see, yeah, I couldn't have been any clearer. So you get the message. The meaning of this is it's the maximum amount. Couldn't means couldn't have been any more, right? Means maximum. You can't even do it anymore. So it means completely, totally. All right, guys. So that's it. As always, I love you very much. Thank you for all your questions and your nice comments. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're staying safe, healthy, and happy wherever you are. From here in beautiful, windy Alberta, I wish you a great day, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.